Oh my god, hey, and welcome back to day 2 of Mickey J Theatre at the Edinburgh Fringe. Nope, that wasn't a sentence that made sense. We're going to try that again. Oh my god, hey, welcome back to day 2 of Mickey J Theatre at the Edinburgh Fringe 2025. We are beginning at pace this morning because my next show, my first show of the day, I should say, is 15 minutes away, and I have 16 minutes in which to get there. So I'm going to walk there gaily, which in this instance does not mean with whimsical abandon skipping through the streets. It means at a homosexual pace, which in my limited experimentation I have discovered to be about 1.125 at least, maybe 1.25. Science is not ready to have that conversation, but I'm power walking to Assembly Roxy, which we visited yesterday. If you haven't yet watched day 1 of the Fringe vlog, then it's a strange choice for you, but I will support it. We travelled here via train. We got here just after midday, and we still managed to fit in 5 shows. We had a great, very varied day of theatre, but already I'm enjoying the quieter streets this morning. I will show you, walking exactly the same route I was walking yesterday, but this time there is not a wedding, or if there is, they're not here yet. I am this week attempting to see as many plays and musicals and pieces of theatre and cabaret and storytelling here at the Fringe as I can. The Edinburgh Festival Fringe, where there are thousands of performances in the month of August. It is a world-renowned Fringe festival, but in my capacity as a professional theatre critic, I'm also reviewing them at the same time, which means not only making this content that you're watching now, but creating reviews after each show. Oh, nearly skidded to my death. And for the first time this morning, I posted a whole day of reviews of yesterday's shows on my Instagram page, also at Mickey J Theatre, in less than 24 hours after seeing the shows. I don't think I've ever managed to do that before at Fringe. And that was achieved by staying awake editing until 2:30 in the morning, and then waking up at 7:30 this morning. I'm in a shared hostel room with my stagey fiancé, Aaron James, and many of our theatrical friends, most of whom are also all of whom are also content creators, really. And I was the last to go to sleep and the first to wake up by some margin. But I got my editing done, and now, having had a shower but beginning to sweat anew, I'm heading off for a full day of Fringe. Day 2, let's go. We have already made up enough time because, and not to brag, but it is 6 minutes away and I've got 9. So it's all good. Certainly not many people see 10 a.m. shows at the Fringe, or if they do, they don't stay out until midnight. Some do. I know some people are as, shall we say, passionate and enthusiastic as I. Didn't say crazy, just thought it. But there's also a version of Fringe where you can get sleep. It is possible. It is possible to do. I haven't really discovered it in all my years, but I believe that it is doable. Now this is the path that I am taking up, and I'm hoping that you can tell that this is an incline. This is kind of the terrain of Edinburgh. We were just on the lower level of Old Town, and now we are hiking up. Oh, this is quite steep. Up to the top level. If you struggle with hill walking, then you may find this challenging. Passing another venue, Zoo Playground. Of all of the shows I've seen at the Fringe, I have never seen a show at any of the zoo venues. Over the past couple of years, I've become a little bit stuck in my ways in terms of venues that I visit. I'm always at Traverse and Summerhall, neither of which I've been to yet, and the Pleasance Courtyard, which I'm spending most of my day at today. But this year, for the first time, I am planning to pop my zoo cherry. That sounded bad, but we were all thinking it. There was no other way to phrase that. Steps. So many steps. Hills and steps. I think I've gone the right way. I have. Assembly Roxy is right here. The performance is scheduled to begin at 10:10. It is 10:04. Nailed this one, folks. As a little recap from yesterday, we have our QR code here ready to scan. We are in the queue and they will come down and scan this. I believe they can take the name on your booking as well if for whatever reason the QR code doesn't work. But yes, this show is part of the Taiwan season and we are seeing Whale, Where Are You Going? front after the show. They've also got a little table here. You can leave your thoughts, and they've got little stickers and postcards and things to take away. It's very sweet. Well, that was lovely. You know, I love starting the day sometimes with some just nice, charming family theatre, because that was all, no words, that was from Taiwan, part of the Taiwan season. They've got 4 shows here at the Fringe, but Taiwanese theatre company, puppetry and music and shadow puppetry and lighting and whimsy and innovation. I put the sticker on my notebook, so we've got 2 now. And they also, someone from the company gave me this, because I guess they knew I was there because I was on the list. And this is a blessing in Taiwan that you will have a healthy and fantastic life, which was extraordinarily kind. And they were doing little meet and greet chats with one of the puppet characters from the show afterwards, sort of like the main puppet character. It was very Pinocchio-esque. You're about to hear me talk about this in a review, but I got to meet the puppet, which made me smile an awful lot. And there were a lot of kids fascinated and delighted by it who got to meet the puppet as well, which was incredibly sweet. Loved that. Oh my god, hey, it is day 2 for me here at the Edinburgh Fringe, and I just saw show number 6 of my trip, which was Whale, Where Are You Going? This is part of the Taiwan season. They have multiple shows here at the Fringe, and this was lovely. This is definitely geared towards families. This is a wordless piece of theatre using shadow puppetry and lighting, innovative design, sort of loosely based on Pinocchio. We were introduced to this sort of curmudgeonly old man. These storytellers who were a little frustrated by him brought into his life a little puppet boy that they created, and this boy brought with him a sense of adventure and joy, which the older man is initially incredibly indifferent to. Eventually he begrudgingly teaches him how to throw paper aeroplanes, and this sort of spirals into a much bigger adventure. But some of the visuals, some of the use of props was so beautiful, so striking. Clearly having a lot of the younger members of the audience just completely in awe of all of this. But I think it also speaks really powerfully and beautifully to parents as well, because it's ultimately a story about that relationship between a parent and a child, and how they inspire and frustrate and entertain and ultimately care for each other. Really lovely piece of theatre. And amidst the chaos of the festival, if you want to start your day with this kind of whimsy and charm and a fond reminder of why we love theatre so much, go and check it out at Assembly Roxy. Well, the sun is trying to come out while I was filming that one. It was briefly very windy a moment ago. I think it's going to get windier tomorrow. Storm Floris is on her way, so that's great. But I'm heading over to the Pleasance Courtyard. A very short walk between these 2 venues. FYI, the Pleasance Courtyard over here and Assembly Roxy just round the corner there. So easy to do shows back to back, but I've actually got like a 25-minute gap. I know, what a luxury. They just did a final call for a show behind me. It's called The Essence of Audrey. I have no idea what it's about. Go check it out. Audrey is not the word that I thought that she said. I'll let you decide what that word actually was. But also, when I looked up, I saw this place here, this kiosk, which has croissants. My friends are going to love this. This is Joseph Martin of Awkward Productions, who is getting married this summer at the Edinburgh Fringe, legally to Linus Karp, who is standing just over here, but currently doing a Sunset Boulevard spoof around the Pleasance Courtyard. Plot twist, pivoted from the croissant because look at all of the exciting options here. Look at all the baked goods. Went for this, as I described it, delicious looking chocolate and custard situation right here. I'm about to eat it now. Oh my gosh, it's moist. Look at this. Lovely. Like it tastes like a chocolate twist if you've had a chocolate twist. This is the preset up here in the attic of Pleasance Courtyard, and we have an actual paper program here as well for this piece, devised and performed by Bob Kingdon. "17 minutes till the next, and I'm still seeing a show in Pleasance Courtyard, but you access this venue, I think it's an above, I'm pretty sure, yes. So I'm going to be here, and the entrance is on the outside. Yeah, make sure you don't miss any shows because you can't find out where the venue is, especially somewhere like Pleasance Courtyard, where it can be a little challenging to navigate. So I'm going to go and stand somewhere and film my review for that one. There's a telephone box here. I could do it in the telephone box. I shan't though, maybe just here, and then I can see a queue forming and then at the appropriate moment, I can get in the queue. Show number 2 of the day. My next cultural treat here at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe was the Truman Capote talk show, which is a Fringe First Award-winning piece of theatre, a solo show from Bob Kingdom, who conjures the spirit of the infamous writer Truman Capote, recounting his own life with this tickling wit, and also posthumously from beyond the grave. And it's a pretty straightforward one-person show. I would say that the notion of the one-person show and the scope of what they can be has probably evolved considerably over the past few years. And I think the format of the whole thing, especially considering the title and the premise of it being a talk show format, could have lent a little bit more into that particular kind of framing. There is something of a sense of monotony when you're just in conversation with one individual and the tone is relatively consistent throughout the whole thing. That being said, I very much enjoyed the structure. This was Truman Capote walking us through the many stages of his life as dictated by the 4 stages of celebrity. Who is Truman Capote? Get me Truman Capote. Get me someone like Truman Capote. And who is Truman Capote? And I liked the way that his iconic aesthetic was slowly deconstructed as a real sense of humanity sort of oozed through the cracks in the verbal armor. Simply riveting storytelling about a dysfunctional family upbringing, about the glamorous people who he met, about success, about fame, about jealousy. And while I still think that the notion of Truman Capote recalling his own life from beyond the grave could be a little more than an hour-long recitation, there are far worse ways to spend an hour than in his company. And now we are going in my second pleasant courtyard space of the day. It is below... Oh, the producer is here. It's not the actual producer. This is the setup here for Spy Movie the Play, and we have some pre-show business going on here as well. Bond themes in the pre-show music.
If you enjoyed the show, word of mouth is really important in the Fringe, so please spread the word, and if you hated it, then tell your enemies! We're going to give out pin badges, and there's also play scripts for sale, so I mean, if you liked it that much, get one of those!
Guess what, everybody? Spy Movie the Play gave me a badge, which means it is Spy Movie the Play the badge. And also, my YouTube vlog from yesterday has nearly finished uploading via mobile data, thank you to the signal in Edinburgh. Consequentially, my phone is nearly dead. But that is okay because I have now, guess what, an hour and 10 minutes until the next show. My immediate priorities are getting lunch, finding Aaron and Sean, who are joining me for Hot Mess, and fixing my hair and hat. What's going on here? And also reviewing the show that I just saw. Lots to do. Charge my phone. Kind of want to pee. I'm holding rubbish. This needs to go in my bag. Just got given another flyer. It's all happening here at the Fringe on day 2, everybody. The name's Blonde. Jane Blonde. Gunshot sound effect. That'll have to do. I have very little editing time, but I did just see my 8th show of the Edinburgh Fringe 2025, and it was Spy Movie the Play, and it was hilarious. Think mischief theatre play that goes wrong, think Operation Mincemeat. This was a spoof of every James Bond spy movie ever being staged as a play while they get the funds together to make the film that they are trying to. This all, of course, in the show within a show. You have a hapless producer character having to play dozens of different parts because some of the actors have walked. You have a dissatisfied protagonist who is playing the role of Jane Blonde. You have some seriously funny wordplay, and I should warn you, if you have any kind of a medical intolerance to puns, there's a very good chance that this show could kill you. There are so many. With multi-rolling, indefatigable energy and perfectly low-budget props as they attempt to stage the film Time to Die, Definitely Again, Maybe. Can I tell you my favourite joke? They're doing a car chase and they say, we'll never lose them, this road is too straight, and there's a side where one of the characters says, bloody Romans, and I love something, always, that is stupidly smart and smartly stupid, and I loved how deliberately slapdash it was. I will say there is a level of slickness that I don't think it has yet necessarily achieved, because we need to know that everything feels like a deliberate mistake and not like things are going wrong outside of the context of that, but it is very funny. Go and check it out at Pleasance Courtyard this month at the Edinburgh Fringe. And I have succeeded in another task. I have found Aaron James. Look at his handsome, happy little face. He's easy to spot today because of the Hot Mess new musical baseball caps that we're both wearing. I'm holding mine because the winds just blew it off my head. Speaking of Hot Mess, just interrupted my own dialogue there because we were chatting with Toby Turley, who is starring with Danielle Steers in Hot Mess, and that's how much time we have before this show, is they are just now walking over. So we have plenty of time, nice and chill.
I I've had a wild day.
You've seen a few shows. Do you want to tell us about any of them?
A couple. So first one was Cheese and Guava or Romeo and Juliet at the Summerhall. First trip to Summerhall this year.
I still haven't been.
The vibes are very different this year. I was not prepared for that show. That's something but it was cool. I got to eat cheese and guava, which I didn't think was going to happen. So first being handed food in a show and eating food in a show. I will warn, there is a lot of audience interaction, so be prepared.
And you were there by yourself?
I was there by myself. It was quite a quiet audience, which was...
I've had a few of those today.
Which was my real nerve, and it happened, and I was a good sport. I took a selfie with a cast member. I had to kiss a cast member's cheek. What else happened during that
I shouldn't
show?
let you out by yourself at the Fringe.
It was wild. It was it ended like how Sunset Boulevard ends without the blood.
And then your next show?
And then I saw Don't Tell Dad About Diana. 5-star must see. Hit. There could be a TV show, it could be a film. The audience were... it was the twists and turns that the whole audience reacted as soon as they happened. If you love Everybody's Talking About Jamie, it's that vibe, but Irish. It's like, I think if you're a fan of like Derry Girls or any of those, it perfectly sits into that land. It is...
Do I try and rework my schedule?
The perfect like coming of age play where it was written beautifully, it was acted beautifully, the characters were three-dimensional. I literally left it and was like, me and Ashley, we all left and we just were like, well, that was a delight. Oh. So much so that I genuinely am looking and thinking I might see it twice.
Lovely review from Mr. Aaron James. There you go. Hopefully, I might try and fit it in because that's a really good endorsement. I think you should go see Spy Movie the Play as well. I think you'd really enjoy it.
It sounds a bit like me.
It's very funny. It's police
copsy,
mince-meaty, mischiefy. Yeah. Let it be known that here in the Pleasance Courtyard, which is down here, sort of by these spaces, by beside, there is a water refilling point for water bottles. That is what we're doing here. So make good environmentally conscious decisions with your refillable bottles, but also hydrate at the Fringe, everybody. And don't worry, I've done that before. And now I await my lunch, which is from Total Meltdown Grilled Cheese Company. So many options here. I wasn't sure. I was like, is it going to be just ham and cheese? Am I going to be able to get anything because I don't eat pork anymore? But no, so many options, including a whole bunch of vegan grilled cheese options. I dare say you might struggle a bit to find vegan catering here at the Fringe from these street food places, but look how many different vegan grilled cheeses you can get here. I have gone for the mature cheddar and chili jam. Sounds nice. This is the R.I.P. This is the size of sandwich that you get. Don't worry, I'm going to scoop it.
We are good. He did not lose any grilled cheese. We're good?
A bit of sweetness. And completing our decadent lunch break just before we head in to go and see Hot Mess, possibly our most anticipated musical of the Fringe 2025, we have come to Mimi's Bakehouse Caravan and spotted a friend behind us. And these are the delicious things that you can get here. Taste test verdict, how many stars?
3.5. I do 0.5s with food.
This might be a 4.5. It's really good. I haven't had a bite with the jammy dodger yet, to be fair.
My thing is, brownies, I just get so over it so quick.
Right. Very good, very good.
But the caramel on the top is the thing that's giving it life.
We are in Pleasance 2, back where we started the Fringe journey yesterday for Hot Mess by Jack Godfrey. So excited. Due to tech issues, we are running about 20 minutes late, but that's okay because we have enough flexibility in our schedule that is not a problem. It is, however, properly sold out with no space whatsoever. 5 minutes till the next, 5 minutes till the next, so we are pacing it through the Pleasance Courtyard to the next venue and the next show. Hopefully this one isn't running late at all, because the gap after this is only 10 minutes. I can see a queue, which, as we established yesterday, is a good thing, because it means you're not going to miss the show if you can see the queue. Also, there was just grass people handing out flyers. Is this a queue or a fire evacuation? I went the wrong way. It's been a year. I went the wrong way. That is not where Beyond is. Beyond is up here. I assumed it was in the same place. I think their last two shows. Beyond is this way, everybody. We still have time. I'm a little out of breath, but we have made it to our next venue. Don't let the tone fool you. This is going to be very silly and very camp. And I'm excited. This is the Fit Prince, etc, etc, etc. Principally a two-person show, but with many pre-recorded guest performances, some of which are currently being advertised via screen. So usually a lot of audience participation. You're sat nearest to the aisle.
So we should switch.
Thank you for an incredible, ridiculous audience and a spectacular supporting cast tonight. If you enjoyed the show, please tell your friends about it. We would love to have audiences like you every single day of the festival. We're here for the full month. Ideally, we'd have them even on the signs here. You can find us on social media as well. We are at Opera Prods, and if you follow us there, you'll see when next we're coming to Edinburgh or wherever in the world you are, because we tour a lot both in the UK and internationally. We go to New York for 6 weeks with our last year's Fringe show. We're going to go skiing.
And if you like seeing Linus as a prince, you may enjoy seeing him as a princess. We have another show called Diana, the Untold and Untrue Story. Festival at 11 PM. If you are not doing anything on Saturday the 16th of August at 11:15 AM, come to the Pleasance Ground, because we are also a real life couple and we are in a Fringe Fest getting legally married live on stage.
We have more merch cited for the show that we just saw. They are also selling t-shirts and postcards and badges here for the Fit Prince, who gets switched and the square and the Frosty Castle and the eve of the... I can't remember the full title. It's a very long title.
Hello, we have managed to get to our next one, which starts very soon. Back to back to back to back to back. Just waiting to go in.
We made it to World's Greatest Lover. Look at this scenic design. Look at this space. Somehow I've seen so many Pleasance Courtyard shows. I don't think I've ever seen anything in here. I feel like I'd remember this sort of Tudor ? Architecture going on. We also have is this a full program? What's going on here? It is, it's an actual program. There you go. We've got so much information. Yeah. My assumption about this show is that it's 6 for boys. And I'm waiting to find out if that is in fact the case. But we're particularly interested in this. Look, Beowulf Borit set design. That's conspicuous. As is the direction and choreography by one Joshua Bagass. So this is Appleton Tower. Oh, this is what it is. I've walked past this building many a time, but I've never seen a show here before. But this is now a Gilded Balloon venue, possibly for the first time. I think the media office used to be in here. Maybe. This appears to be raised in one of the Gilded Balloons, at the very least. But we're heading in here for Little Squirt in about 20 minutes, actually. We may be a little prompt. Okay, they have a bar set up in here. Everything in this venue is named, for some reason, after apples. But Sean is set up in there. I feel very responsible for Sean because it is his first Fringe. And this is his first full day of the Fringe. But I've got him set up in there. I have 18 minutes, or I did a few minutes ago. So I have time to film 3 back-to-back reviews and then catch up on myself. And then I'll feel much better. I have just seen my most anticipated new musical of the Edinburgh Fringe 2025, and it was Hot Mess, written by Jack Godfrey, the rising star, brilliant composer behind other shows like 42 Balloons, one of the co-writers of Babies. And this musical is another one that he has been developing over the last few years. It is a two-person show. It is an allegorical story about the relationship between humanity and Earth, portrayed through a relationship that turned sour, hence my nicknaming it The Last 5 Billion Years. And it's a really charming concept. It's very cutesy, it's very funny. You've got great lines in there like the Earth saying, "I'm not picky, I'm just naturally selective." And like any Jack Godfrey score, this has bops for days, weeks, calendar months even. I cannot wait to listen to these songs, more fantastically sung, brilliantly performed by the wonderful Danielle Steers, who is one of the greatest vocalists we have and who is also so funny in this show, and the brilliant Tobias Turley, who manages to be awkward and charming and a little arrogant, but really fantastic role for him. He's great in this. It's great to see something that's so entertaining but also manages to be topical. There are so many clever parallels between the climate conversation and the relationship conversation. There's a sexy song about using Earth's resources. I did anticipate it getting a little bit more hard-hitting just because conversation around abusive relationships and climate change both being fairly heavy ones, but ultimately maybe it's for the best that the whole thing is written with a little more levity. It is also undeniably one of the hottest tickets at the Fringe so far. It is sold out for the forthcoming week. Do not waste your time in getting tickets to go and see Hot Mess at the Edinburgh Fringe. Do you know what I find really entertaining is weaponized audience participation, especially when it happens to other people. I just saw my 10th show of the Edinburgh Fringe 2025, and it was, let me get this right, the Fit Prince ... who gets switched in the square by the Frosty Castle the night before, open brackets, insert public holiday here, close brackets. It is a bit of a send-up of Hallmark movies of similarly convoluted titles. This from Awkward Productions, Fringe staples Linus Karp and Joseph Martin, who are also getting IRL married this year at the Fringe. Great to see them doing something on stage in which they are just utterly sharing the spotlight and assigning, as they so brilliantly do, all of the supporting roles in the story to willing members of the audience, as well as pre-recorded cameos to terrific effect. No one else is really utilizing these same kind of participatory techniques. The tone for this is also set immediately, with certain audience members who have been assigned roles being called up on stage to enact a royal funeral. This is in fact my favorite show that these two have ever put together, and I think it's because getting away from a preordained storyline or preordained characters like Princess Diana or Gwyneth Paltrow allows them to be much more themselves, and somehow in the most contrived story they have ever told, they manage to be more authentic than ever. It's a really fun time. It's a wonderful audience experience. There is also anti-fascist puppetry and a Bab montage. That's ABBA with the letters inverted, performing such well-known hits as Is Your Father Aware and Movement King. This is Edinburgh Fringe Camp at its absolute finest. I had a great time. Go and check it out. Okay, we did 2 out of 3 getting there. There's only 1 now weighing on me. But it is time for our next show, which you can just about glimpse over the nice little desks we have here in this lecture theatre turned performance space. I like these ones now that I have a notebook this year because I can make notes, I can lay everything out. This is good. So I was just complaining about the fact I didn't know if I was going to have time for food, and Sean pointed out this food truck right here. So that way, hopefully that'll be done in a couple of minutes, and then I can finish the rest of the walk. I'm en route to Summerhall. This is going to be my first walk to Summerhall. I just always think of Summerhall as being half an hour away, and it's not at this exact time. So that's okay. But I'm waiting for a bao bun, and I will eat bao en route to Summerhall. Maybe take some caffeine pills. It was warm earlier, but I'm wearing shorts, and I am now getting very chilly. This is one very chilly reflection. Desperate to eat this, but you know I gotta show it to you first. This is the Energy. This is some chicken, spring onions, and chipotle mayo on a bao bun as I power walk to Summerhall. Whoop whoop! Well, they say that love hurts, and unfortunately so did this show. I saw World's Greatest Lover at the Edinburgh Fringe 2025 at the Pleasance Courtyard. This is an American musical that is hoping to emulate the success of other shows like Six by almost entirely appropriating that show's structure. In this, 4 different Lotharios from history are brought together by St. Valentine in order to learn from each other and to help save love, because love is dying. And despite clutching so clearly at Six's very successful formula, what they have missed in doing so is that there is a terrific substance and a message behind all of that in a show like Six, and that is what is sadly lacking here, because for all of the many, many similar songs in this show, ultimately the enduring message about what they can learn from each other is that the likes of Casanova and the Marquis de Sade need to learn to appreciate the little things, lie less, and not give up on love. And with that, love is saved. And that is not entirely true, because it also takes a handful of musical performances with mostly indistinguishable melodies, generic lyrics, and unearned modulations. Don't get me wrong, there is plenty of talent on stage, but it is squandered in a show that has no understanding of the fact that there needs to be something more behind the boy band of it all. Needless to say, World's Greatest Lover is not the greatest musical at the Edinburgh Fringe. We're here, the familiar teal of Summerhall is beckoning me. Can I see the poster for the show that I'm here to see? It's Palom, if anyone can see. I can't see it, but let me know if I'm missing it entirely. Like I said, I've had a lot of day to day. I was told yesterday this is really good. There you go, 5 stars, totally unique. Sad to be missing it now. This is the problem with getting recommendations when you already have a very full schedule. Either that's another one I told all of you to go and see, and I'm not even having the chance to see it. I'm sad. Summerhall is another venue where it's worth figuring out where exactly you're going, because they're a little bit far apart, the performance spaces. They're not all off of one central hub foyer area, so it's worth figuring that out ahead of time. But I also have 10-15 minutes before the start time of Palom at 9 PM, and I filmed one review on the way over here, which means I only have one more to do for Little Squirt. So if I do that right now, I will be up to date, which is great news. So my 12th show at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival 2025 began with what I can only describe as a splattering of ejaculatory metaphor. Yes, I just said those words, but became ultimately incredibly thought-provoking. Heck of a conversation starter. This was Little Squirt at Gilded Balloon, and it's a one-man show from an Australian writer and performer based on his real experiences of donating sperm around 4 years ago and the entire existential crisis that arose afterwards, and all of the conversations that he had to have with himself. Those conversations now being had through the show about principally the ethics of creating life, being participatory in creating life in an increasingly doomed world. I think the concept of sperm donation so unique and so interesting and sort of taboo that we're going to be intrigued by it, but also the gay male lens is a really interesting one to view this through because of the gay male relationship to sperm and to parenthood, which is a very specific one. And you could definitely say that structurally there was a sort of a frenzied, perhaps unfocused quality to the whole thing, but if anything that helped to convey the anxiety of the entire situation. I think there are probably ways to parlay this particular story into a wider conversation that invokes the audience more, but at the moment it's still something absolutely worth seeing. It is soul-bearing and hilarious and charming and meaningful at the same time. Really fantastic piece of theatre, go and check it out. And I did it, I filmed one more review round the corner in the same spot. Remembering from last year the places that I like to stand because there aren't people or cars going past me constantly, which makes it a little bit easier. Big recommendation from me. In fact, that's the gallery that goes with the show, 300 paintings. I'm going to head into Summerhall now to see one of these shows. I'll be back here a few times this week, but this is my first Summerhall. How exciting. Oh, I didn't take my caffeine pills. This show is in Tech Cube 0. I know where that is. Follow the neon glow. It is here. And no footage inside the auditorium or of the curtain call, because when I was in line scanning my QR code, they were giving out these little modesty protection stickers for the phones. Clearly implying that they didn't want it to be filmed, so I let them know I also had a camera and that I was going to be putting that away for the duration of the performance. I'm going to try and peel this off my phone and stick it on my notebook, because I don't want to be like, can I have another sticker for my notebook? Like a child. But yes, and the reason for that is because a lot of not overt nudity, but a lot of simulated stuff and just adult themes in that play. I am now heading down to the space at Nidri Street for the 9th show of the day. The finish line approaches, but what I wanted to tell you is that a nice thing has been happening, because you'll notice for most of these shows today I've been by myself, had Aaron and Sean in the middle, but then was just by myself again, running into people who I know, running into friends and other people I know from the industry, going into the same shows, meeting people in queues who I know, and then getting to watch that show together. It's really lovely. It's really nice, especially because sometimes you see people at the Fringe and it's like, hi, oh my gosh, I want to chat, but I'm running this way to go and see something. So it's nice to have that moment of, and you're not really catching up because you're watching a show together, but it's still a shared experience. Anyway, heading down to the space at Nidri Street, power walking, not because I'm in a rush, but because I'm cold. Also, it got dark, and this is currently the Edinburgh Street in front of me. As I see it, I think I'm going the right way. You can absolutely, when going between Summerhall and venues on the Royal Mile or near to the Royal Mile, you can absolutely get the bus or an Uber, especially when the roads are this quiet. I'd say there are times of day when those streets, it's not worth getting on a bus or in a car because those streets just get gridlocked. But I have the time and I have the legs and I need to film my review, which I'm going to do right now. So, Edinburgh Fringe show number 13, unlucky for some but lucky for me, was Palom, which has been one of the most anticipated new plays of the 2025 Fringe. It's at Summerhall, and it's about ostensibly a couple of friends, and immediately when this started, I was like, why do I not trust this platonic friendship? But then I was gazing inwards and I was like, why do we never trust platonic male-female friendships on stage? But I was right, I was vindicated, because it's all about them entering into a professional collaborative partnership together where they are creating OnlyFans content and how that affects their friendship, especially in the shadow of a prior relationship that they had when they were at university together. There is a video camera on stage relaying a live feed to a screen. The whole thing is set on a rolled out backdrop as if in a photography studio. And I would say in general that I think the direction struck me a little bit more than the writing itself, especially towards the end. It started to feel a little disparate, as if we were stumbling onto disconnected conversations, talking suddenly about race, essentially skirting the real issue of their relationship, portrayed admittedly with really fantastic, believable chemistry from these actors. And as strange as it sounds, I've been really waiting for a piece of theatre to meaningfully unpack the emerging OnlyFans culture, and not as a punchline. And as if Lena Dunham wrote an episode of Friends, here came Palom to do just that. Go and check it out at Summerhall. Pausing my journey to show you this intersection of connectivity, because that's an underpass that comes from the Bristow Square area that also carries on up to George Street and Summerhall. Over that way, there are potatoes and bicycles. I don't know what that's about. Over that way is where you would head to go to Assembly Roxy and Pleasance Courtyard. Down here is going to take you down to the lower area with, well, first Gilded Balloon, Patter House, and then if you carry on going down, as we are going to, down to Cowgate as well for Underbelly, left to Grassmarket and onwards to Traverse, but upwards from the Cowgate area to the space at Nidri Street, which is where I'm going now, and then continuing on to the Royal Mile. So that's a really pivotal area that if you can find yourself in that spot, you can then link to pretty much wherever you need to get to. And I like this path particularly because this doesn't have like the Greyfriars Bobby statue. This doesn't get full of footfall and become very difficult to get past. I found my friends! Yay! Yay! I was saying to Sean earlier how I get anxious about saying no to flyers at the best of times, and Ashley was just pitched this show from a dead mime.
And no one saved her.
At 11:35 p.m. and we just all looked down.
They all just left me. They watched me get picked up and carried down the street and kidnapped and did nothing.
What was I meant to say? There was no conversation. It was a dead mime. There was no reasoning. You can't reason with a dead mime.
So we're fine.
You just
Dead
wait.
mime.
Dead mime. Very good. And 25 minutes later than anticipated, we have made it in. Listen, show's overrun, and for the last show of the day, I'm not mad about it. It just means it will be a later finish, because I think this is a 90-minute show. But finally, we are in the space. Sean and I got complimentary fanny packs. I got a fanny pack. Everything is green today. I have my hot mess green cup. What a green day today at the Edinburgh Fringe. What time is it even?
It's 12:30.
Wow.
Bedtime.
Wow. Okay.
Well, it started 30 minutes late, so
It did. I've got 9 reviews I haven't filmed the 9th one. I've got 8 reviews to go back and edit now until like 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, it is midnight. I've just seen my 9th show of the day, my 14th show of the Edinburgh Fringe Festival 2025, and I officially have no idea anymore because I just saw something that objectively, and I'm so sorry to say it, had an awful lot just plainly wrong. And yet, I feel like somehow by the end of the thing, I went from a point of horror to confusion to enjoying myself because we motorcycle stunt jumped into guilty pleasure territory. This is I Was a Teenage She-Devil playing at the Space at Nidri Street, an awful lot of passion on the stage and that has clearly gone into the thing. This is an 80s high school revenge plot. It's very Carrie, which they acknowledge. The songs are giving you 80s rock, generally with one lyric that is repeated ad infinitum. Sadly plagued this evening by an awful lot of unfortunate sound problems, but I'm not wholly convinced that we miss an extraordinary amount of wit. And honestly, this feels close to being parody and close to being satire and using all of those different 80s tropes. I was happy to see a lesbian plotline in there, but I was wildly disappointed to see a horribly transphobic character show up. All in all, a confusing theatrical experience, but one I ended up having an undeniably fun time at. Great performers, decent writers who I think should probably just work on writing something slightly different or refine a more unique plot. Ashley, what was your favourite show of the day?
Mine was Don't Tell Dad About Diana. I think it's my favorite thing I've seen outside of Ohio, but only because I live in Ohio so much.
Which you and Aaron have recommended so thoroughly, I might try and fit it into my schedule.
You have to. No, you have to see it. It's so good.
Uh-huh. Ben, what was your favourite thing you saw today?
Mine was Hole.
Yeah.
We love Hole.
We love Hole.
Sean, I'm nervous to ask.
Well, it was Hot Mess. But it's now... What's it called? You don't even remember
I
what
Was a
it's
Teenage
called?
She-Devil.
And that is the beauty of the subjectivity of theatre, everybody. It's a beautiful thing. I will see you tomorrow. I haven't lost my entire mind. For 10 more seconds, I'm Mickey Joe Theatre. Oh my god, hey. Thanks for watching. Have a stagey day. Subscribe!